Good evening. This is CTV News for Monday, August 13th. I'm Denise Douglas. So glad you could join us this evening. Well, topping our news, a Baltimore City police officer resigns just days after a disturbing video surfaces. Take a look at this. The incident occurred over the weekend in the city. The Baltimore Sun identifies the striking officer as Arthur Williams. Police say he's been on the force for a little more than a year and was still on probation. The man struck repeatedly by the officer is 26-year-old Deshaun McGuire. Department officials say police stopped McGuire and asked him for his ID, but he refused, and that's when things got out of hand.
Particularly the public video is extremely disappointing to me. I don't think that there was any room for the activity that I saw on that, and it is extremely disturbing. With that being said, we have accepted that officer's resignation, and we currently still have a criminal investigation ongoing.
Tuggle says the officer did have a run-in with McGuire in June that resulted in his arrest. He says the officer could face assault charges. A union wants Metro's general manager fired because they say special accommodations were made to white nationalist protesters over the weekend. ATU Local 689's president, Jackie Jeter, said they are disgusted. Leading up to the rally, GM Paul Wiedefeld and other Metro officials were insistent that no private trains or special treatment would be afforded to the group. However, they were kept in a separate train on Sunday. In response, a Metro spokeswoman said in a statement that members of the white nationalist group were escorted by police onto the rear of the train for the safety of everyone on board. Well, following the death of a player and reports of abusive treatment, the University of Maryland places head football coach DJ Durkin on administrative leave. You may recall earlier this summer, 19-year-old Jordan McNair died after suffering from a heat stroke at a team workout. According to reports, McNair had a seizure around 5 p.m. and 911 was not called until around 6 p.m. Governor Larry Hogan says he stands behind the university's decision, and so do students.
So much investment in football, and we're an educational institution, and it's a disgrace for our whole university to be associated with this, and it's a disgrace and a tragedy what the family has been through with his death, and something needs to be done about it.
For the football program across colleges, this is probably one of the cases that's going to a wake-up call, but I really don't think anything is going to be done about it, especially because I know when I was talking to my friends, they weren't surprised with the conditions that the football players are in. They're like, well, this is college, this is what it's known for, and the coach, yeah, he got placed on leave, but if it's going to be permanent, I don't really think so.
I don't think they should eliminate football necessarily because it does bring so much money to the school. And a lot of people come to the school for the sports, for the athletics teams. But I think a big thing that would really help would be allowing the athletes to unionize. I think that would really massively change things for the better and would give them more power to fight for their rights.
Now, McNair's family is calling for Durkin to be fired. Currently, offensive coordinator Matt Canada is serving as the interim head coach. Some current and former Terp football players have told ESPN that the program operates in an environment of fear and that teammates are degraded constantly. We have Chris Marks joining us now to talk a little bit about what it's like to play football, because he did so in college?
Yes.
Right. Just kind of start out, what's your whole take on this situation?
Okay, so, I've been there. I've been through these workouts in the summertime, and they are grueling and they are pretty intense. My big issue here with this situation is, where was the athletic training staff, and why was his strength and conditioning coach able to wield so much power within the realms of this program? Athletic trainers are there to protect the players, and if you read this article, what alleged went on is they weren't there to protect this player. They waited a long time to call 911, and they were complicit when he was failing. They were complicit with the coaching staff and the strength and conditioning coach to push him even harder. And that's my big issue with what's going on, is these these programs have strength and conditioning coaches. Why do they have so much power? They have athletic trainers who are there to protect the kids, to protect the players. You know, they're the if someone gets hurt, they're there to help them, and
Exactly.
they did not help Jordan McNair, and they weren't helping Jordan McNair. They were, if anything, complicit. They went along with what was going on.
Right.
And
No one's
some of the
saying-
other things that I've hear, you know, I play college football, and you know, football is a sport where coaches yell. They're in your face type. I never had a problem with that. I played at Towson. By no means was I a star athlete. I was a backup, but I did play. And you know, for every time a coach got in somebody's face for a bad play, they got in their face for a good play.
Okay.
Good job. There's a lot of positive reinforcement. I never had anything like this happen while I was playing. But some of the things that you read are just, they're nuts. They come out of the movie Full Metal Jacket. Like,
Let me ask you this.
It's crazy.
What's a typical workout like? Or what, you kind of walk us through what a typical workout would be like for you.
So, you know, when I played, this is back, no, we're going back in time, you know, in the off season, we had 6 a.m.s. We'd get up, we'd go run, and we'd work out really, really hard. But there was an athletic training staff on hand. You know, in the off season is conditioning you to get ready for the season. Once the season started, you know, you'd have your conditioning, you would have the 2-a-days. You know, they don't do those anymore. It was a tough go, but football's a grueling sport. We always got water, you know, but for me, I can't speak to actually what happened. I haven't seen the video here at Maryland, but from what I read, I am appalled. Like you know, I can't believe that a program would treat their players like this.
What do you think needs to be done instead? And also, DJ Durkin, do you think he's out?
I think he has to be out just because of what's going on here. I mean, the fear, the you know, making kids eat until they throw up, making someone eat a candy bar while everyone else work out. Like I think I just brought up Full Metal Jacket. That's something out of that movie. That you saw how that turned out, and that's just a movie. If kids are passing out in workouts, they're giving everything they have. They're passing out. Why is somebody then screaming at this child, and they are kids or young adults, that you're not giving enough? Like what are we doing here? Like and that's the thing that bothers me the most. And what I'm sitting here saying is that I think these trainers, they feel like they're an extension of the coaching staff. You're not. You are there to protect the kids. You are there if someone is hurt, something is happening, and they weren't there for Jordan McNair.
All right, we'll talk a little bit more about this in sports. We'll talk about what you might think needs to be done from here. And so thank you for your insight.
Yeah.
All right.